Big Al, Teddy Bear, and Liver Lips McGrowl. You are now tuned in to the Disney Holic Show.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Holic Show. That's Mike TV.
And that's Jen Diz.
Howdy, folks. Join us in this toe-tappin world of the Country Bear Jamboree. From heartbreakin ballads to hillbilly hilarity, it's a bear-filled podcast hoedown. Yeehaw!
Yeah, 'twas inevitable that we'd be doing a Country Bears episode.
Yes, I did my live at 5 on Friday and I was asking some opinions, and it kind of came out 50-50 if we should do an episode about country bears or if we should do an episode about weird Disney and other theme park attractions, which I have on my list to do.
Oh, that's
Um,
always a good one.
yeah, but I decided to go with country bears because I just started to feel the feels with everybody experienced their final day, which is this last Friday at Walt Disney World. Not a final day of the country bears as we've known it since 2012. So
Dumb.
dumb, dumb.
No, but you
My
know
piece
what?
is dumb.
This is a podcast for other fans, so we have to talk about it because there's a lot of fan chatter about it. But I'm already saying dumb because, and you want me to kind of, be devil's advocate today. I think it's dumb that it's suddenly being called like this final performance. It was never dubbed as that. It was like, oh, they're going to be learning some new songs and blah blah blah. And now everyone's treating it like this Walt Disney 1955 ride. It's not even from there. Is closing down and it's the end of the world. That's how, at least that's how my algorithm, if that makes sense, is feeding it to me, and I'm just like, what is going on? Because I'm excited for new songs.
So I was on board with you and I'm on board with the others. Not too much. I'm floating in the middle. I right now I think that anytime they're willing to put time and money into keeping something that we know and love, I will take it, because otherwise we're going to get
Yeah,
rid of it,
that's a
right?
good
Like, let's
point.
just be real. So I'd rather have the country bears in some new format than no country bears at all. So
And
that's
when
the
they
way
put new
I'm.
money into it, that means this refresh will probably last a long time. So you get to see the Bears for a long more.
Maybe they just closed down two brand new shows that they opened in Disney World, though. So
Oops.
like not even a year into them. So you never know. But I was excited at first, and then I started really thinking about the fact that they're just going to be singing Disney songs, and I kind of got a little grossed out. Like, crap, like it's going to just turn into this like nighttime fireworks show version of Country Bears, which I don't really want. I want it to be its own thing and feel like its own thing instead of just another extension of Disney we already know. So that part I'm
Yeah,
really sad about
that's
losing.
fair because they've done that by example. There's like the Epcot shows and the new
Exactly.
Castle shows. But what I remember from when they announced it, it seemed cool because they got like actual real jazz musicians, bluegrass players. They're doing their twists on the songs, and the characters are
Mm-hmm.
still doing their thing in between. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay.
I
I
think it'll
think it
keep me
might lose a
awake if
little
I could
of
sing
its.
along.
Yeah, true. And that's the thing, and that's actually a really good point that you bring up. That's what bothers me about it, is that it's just going to be another familiarity thing, which is kind of easy. And like, I don't love everything to be so
Yeah.
easy. I like it to be like, that's what creates fandoms and cult favorites, is like things that you like love as its own unique separate thing, and it's not going to really be that as much anymore, or it might be. We'll have to
Well, that's
see.
what
I
I
don't know.
also think is always part of the argument with us Disney fans and when we have something that we love is ain't nobody there until the last day, the last week. The reason why they have to do that is because nobody's going in. You throw in some Frozen music, now you're going to get people in the theater and out of my way when I'm trying to walk around
My
Fantasyland,
way, that's the most
Frontierland.
important part.
So they need like a people eater, and it wasn't doing the job. So it's like, Was it really that beloved? Was there somebody who always went every single time? Probably, but not enough to fill all the seats every time. So that's
Who went on
like from
Country
a
Bears and you went somewhere else?
right, but like from operations, it's like those six people, they'll get over it.
Yeah, yeah. Now I have to say, to stand up for Country Bears, every time I go on it in Disney World, there's a crowd. It's maybe not every single seat filled, but it's like probably 75% of the theater. And I was always surprised by it. I was like, oh, like people still like Country Bears. Okay. And then I hear people saying, like, oh, they're only in here because it's hot, or they're only
Yeah,
in here because like all the other
everything
rides are
else is
down.
long. Yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I don't know where it truly sits. I don't go to Disney World enough to explain that. Um, I've been a Country Bears fan forever. I remember I was really sad when it left Disneyland. It's kind of like a family staple for me. I have a big like me and my dad used to go there all the time when I was little. However, it moved so long ago to Disney World that it helped me like separate from enough to not be one of those crazy fans that you're reading about. I probably would be them if
Yeah.
it was in
Yeah.
Disneyland still,
Well,
right? Like I
here's what
couldn't tell you half
it's
the
what makes it
lyrics to half the
worse
songs.
is that I believe you are a fan. I think what I get annoyed is I don't believe those people are.
Oh, all the well, there's always those, right?
Right?
Like
So that yeah, that's the caveat. Is
I'm
like
very
I
curious
feel
about
for the
that.
people who love it. It's when it's like oversaturated and I'm like, I don't know. Would these did these people even go on it? Did they even know it was at Disneyland? OG, which is such a good point you brought up Disneyland and family. This show reminds me of being a young, like 12, and my older sister loving it. And we always had to go on it. And I was like, no, I don't want it. I was like a little kid. I didn't want it. And so it kind of reminds me of that, I guess. And the Disneyland version is the one that, even with being a bratty kid, like that, I think holds a place in my heart. And it's I always forget it's not there, or when I go back there and I'm like, oh yeah, it's not here. It's just the restaurant. So I do miss the Disneyland one for some
Yeah.
reason. For some
It
reason.
was also kind of nice because it was like tucked away where there wasn't anything to do. So it was like
Yeah.
kind of this nice surprise, like, oh, there's this show, and it was like it's like warm environment, right? Like the colors, it's like very
Yeah.
saturated colors, and like it just feels like a warm, cozy place to be.
It
And
really
so
felt
like
like you
walking
went
all
into
the way
that
back there
like
and discovering that is quite nice.
log cabin moment. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They should
back
move it
then
into Grand
too,
Cal.
in the 90s, especially, at least when I was going to it, not that it was built in the 90s, but I loved all that stuff back then. Chuck E. Cheese, Showbiz
Yeah,
Pizza,
yeah, very true.
like and animatronics, like old school real ones. They are still so impressive, even though they feel like kind of choppy now that we've seen the new ones. There's just something cute and charming about it, or scary if it's Five Nights at Freddy's.
Wait, I have to ask you, what was your very first job?
First job? Me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my very first job was putting stickers on mugs or screen printing mugs that said Hayton Ashbury for this shop in San Francisco that
Oh,
sold those souvenir mugs. But we made them
what?
in Fremont. So weird and random that you
Oh,
asked me that.
weird. Okay. I thought it was Chuck E. Cheese. That's why I asked. Chuck
Oh
E. Cheese was my
no,
first job. And I was like, wait, do we share that in common that it was our first
that's a
job?
good first job to have. It's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah. It's
story. Yeah.
very, a very Disney holic first job for someone who
Disney
was in
Holic,
Fremont.
our
Right.
generation, 80s, 90s type of thing.
Yeah. It was so exciting. It was like brand new. They're opening a Chuck E. Cheese. We're like, heck yeah. We like weren't far enough out of our like childhood to like think it's real dumb. It like was still kind of exciting, but we didn't really want to admit it. And now we're working there, so it's okay. Anyway, that's a tangent. But yes, nonetheless, it is wrapping up at Walt Disney World for its current version, but it's going to be reopening at the end of summer or sometime this summer, they said. So we don't even have too long for it to recover. We're assuming we might get some costume changes. In 2012, when they did the refurb, they changed a lot of their fur. Like we got new color fur and stuff.
Oh,
So who knows what if we're going to get all of that or not. Um, but we're thinking there's definitely going to be new music,
I love it.
new
You know what? If we really lean into the way they're trying to market this, Disney, not the fans, Disney, it's really like they're coming back on another tour. You know, like when U2 comes back, or these
yes.
huge bands, and they have a new set list and new look. I also just recently went on the Madonna tour, so I'm thinking about that. Like these people are so famous and well known, they come back and everybody's just like so happy, but you like go with them on this ride. So I'm wondering what it's going to be like.
Yeah. Hopefully it feels
What
like
about the
that.
voices? Will they
Yeah, so
change
that's one
it?
thing that's pretty sad. We'll be losing a few of the voices, I
Oh,
think. I mean, I don't truly know. So Pete Renaday, big fan of him. I've had him come out and do some speaking for us at like a Haunted Mansion event I hosted and whatnot with Jeff Bam of doombuggies.com. And like he's a legend to us, right? And he is Henry. So he's the MC of the entire show, but he
oh.
still has an amazing voice. I don't know if they're going to get him to redo anything or what. So we'll have to see. Right now on the Disney Parks blog, it says the upcoming show is taking a fresh take, quote, fresh take on Disney tunes with various country music genres. So they're going to kind of keep that vibe of country, but they're going to include all different types of country, including bluegrass, pop country, which I'm going to kill myself, pop country. Sorry if anybody's a fan.
That
Bluegrass,
don't
pop
impress
country,
me much.
Americana, rockabilly, and more. So it could be great. It could go wrong. We will have to see. I do have to say, Imagineers have been kind of blowing things out of the water recently, which is just like every time we get nervous and they come through with some like really cool thing and there's lots of tributes and like it's done really tastefully. So I have faith. I have faith. I just kind of like realized the excitement I had about Disney music has faded completely. Like I don't want any tunes that we already know. I want it to be new things
Tunes.
because it's an original show, right? Country Bears was an original show. So like that part is kind of sad. But
I think it would be so good if they brought something familiar back, like the guy you mentioned with like little bit older, scruffier voice, as if like the bear's aged.
yeah,
Oh,
they're on their reunion tour or something.
yeah, that would be good. And that just proves that, when someone is on those big reunion tours, you want to hear their hits. So they should at least mix in some of the non-offensive, are there any
There,
non-offensive songs? And they should mix them
yeah.
in there. Or maybe, like you said, trust the Imagineers. Maybe there'll be like tons of Easter eggs that are like punny lyrics of Disney songs we
Yes.
know or
Yeah,
something.
they have all that banter in between songs.
Yeah.
I feel it's going to be full of that. And I'm really
I hope
excited to hear
so.
that. Yeah.
I hope they make fun of the Disney songs, not in a bad way, but they make it entertaining in a different way, in the
Right.
Country Bears way. And the other thing is I've been watching those videos of everyone at the finale, and it's the crowd participation is, I think, what people like the most.
Right.
So hopefully that stays somehow, because I do think, oh, I have a little bit of FOMO seeing it with a crowd of people who are like hooting and hollering and stuff like that, versus when I've gone and it's just like a nap area.
When's the last time you went on it, do you think?
Probably a couple years, a year or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always have a good experience when I go for some reason. Like it is like that. Or not everybody, but a lot of people are clapping at least. Like a lot of clapping in there.
Oh, probably yeah.
Um,
Like regular show stuff, but not
yeah.
not the like Avengers style Endgame theater, which is what I was hearing
Oh,
in the finale of Country Bears,
yeah, of
like this
course.
final
Yeah, it's
week.
gonna be very
And
different.
that seems fun. So like how do
Yeah.
we keep that energy all the time, every show?
Oh my God. Can't. Impossible. That would be cool though.
We're also
Um,
the some of the only people who actually do the fun Daisy dance. Or maybe it's just me. In Mickey and
Daisy
Minnie's Runaway
dance.
Railway, where you have to do the
Oh, I hate that part of that. That's the
conga
worst part of the whole
every time.
whole
You got to
thing.
bring the energy.
Oh my God. It is infectious though sometimes, right? When other people start clapping, you'll automatically start clapping. You don't even know what's going on half the time. People will join in. So they got to
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
cheerleader like you in every ride
There you go.
of
Plant.
all of
They
the
should
parks.
plant it.
Yes, plant it.
What a fun job.
Yeah, seriously. Oh God, I'd probably be so
The
annoyed if
hype
people don't
plant.
join me though. I'd be like, come on, I'm clapping. One and three and one and
You'd
three.
eventually like be able to not ever feel rejected again. Like you'd get numb to
Yes.
it. That's kind of nice. I wouldn't mind that.
It is quite nice, actually. Okay. Good results out of bad results. I love it. So they did say that, like, Disney straight up said that they are going to be keeping one song from the original. So that's cool. Don't
Okay.
know what song it'll be yet. They did not disclose that. What is the only song probably that pops in your head for Country Bears?
Is the it's the It's hard because I've been like reading a lot about it lately. But the one that I always think
Oh,
of is the one who lets me down thing. I could hear it all the time in my
okay.
head. The man. What? How does it go? Do you know that lyric?
All the guys that turn me on, turn me
Turn me
down.
down. I remember that being the first one where I like kind of stood up at some point
You're
watching
like,
this one of the
what?
first times. Yeah, and I was like, oh, what are they saying?
Yeah. The first one that pops in my head is Blood on the Saddle, which is, I think, one probably the biggest moments with Big Al with his badly tuned guitar. But I'm curious to see which one they're gonna keep, and I'm excited for that. I
They
hope
could
it's one
keep
that we all know. Should
they
be
could
fun.
keep blood on the saddle and then just bring on Turning Red cast
Oh
walk
my
in at
God,
the same time.
stop.
Just be like, it's an educational moment. But
Like,
look,
we
it's
need to
always
move
been
this to
there.
Epcot.
Been there for decades, this educational moment. And it snuck by for decades.
Another change that they're gonna have, or I guess that wasn't a change. That's actually the opposite. But a change they're going to have is they're announcing that they are changing Liver Lips McGraw to be named Romeo McGraw. Do you know, is liver lips like a bad term? Do you know? Have you seen that pop up in your studies?
Yes. I
It
think it is.
is.
Yeah.
Is it racist? What is it?
It's pretty racist.
Is it? God dang them. This whole time it's been like that. Okay. So Romeo McGraw, good move. I love it. Okay. It was just such a weird name that I never knew it had any bad, like anything bad to go with it. And so I just thought it was like this funny weird name for this funny weird bear, right? They all are funny weird bears, but so okay. Educational moment. There it is. We were just talking about
There it is. There it is.
so let's get into the history of the country bears real quick. So just to go through the dates, it opened first in Walt Disney World on opening day, October 1st of 1971 in Frontierland. Then it opened in Disneyland on March 4th of 1972, so not too long after. Um, in Bear Country, they actually named the whole, like they created a new land around country bears. That's how popular it was in Disney World. They pulled it over to Disneyland and named a whole area called Bear Country, which is now Critter Country because they added Splash Mountain and it's not just bears anymore. So they
And
added Critter
perhaps we'll
Country.
get erased yet again.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I think
New
so.
Orleans
I think so.
Bayou area or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Featuring Winnie the
Um,
Pooh and friends.
and then it also opened up over in Tokyo on April 15th of 1983 in Western Land. So it's kind of like had its little world tour also, as we were talking about them going on tour.
Oh, I like that.
But the original idea of Country Bears actually came in to fruition when they were looking at purchasing a ski resort called Mineral King. And this is in the Sequoia National Forest here in California. And Walt Disney, we could do a whole episode on that on its own. We did a lot of that before, actually, when we're talking about how to ski. Do you remember when we are talking about
Yeah.
those? So Mineral King was a whole thing. It was going to be this big ski resort. And in 1965, they won the bid. They put away $35 million and they're going to create this self-contained year-round mountain ski resort, including hotels and restaurants and ski lifts and the whole thing. And they had plenty of daytime activities planned, like hiking, skiing, etc. But they realized they're missing something at nighttime. Like there's nothing to do at night at this resort. And what are they missing? That Disney touch, right? The Disney
Oh.
touch. It's a Walt Disney resort. They still have to have some kind of Disney touch to it. So Walt brought in Disney legend Mark Davis, who most of you know, he's a Disney legend, and he's instrumental in developing attractions like the Enchanted Tiki Room, the Jungle Cruise, Carousel Progress. He also was working on while Walt was still around, but they didn't open until after his passing, but Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. So he was very much a storyboard creator and a fun uh, caricature type of visionary, right? So he was like, all right, what can we make? Let's do something with bears because it's in the woods, right?
In the
It's like
woods.
a forest. So let's do something with bears. And then he was thinking, like, maybe we could do some kind of bear parade, maybe a marching band. And he even thought up having a bear mariachi band.
Weird.
Mariachi? Why did I say that? Mariachi? Mariachi. They both sound wrong. A bear mariachi band That would be super, super, super weird. So I'm
Yeah.
glad they didn't go with that.
Like in the middle of the American forest or something. Weird.
Right? Like, where are you going to have a marching band? All these things, like a parade and a marching band. Where are they going to put that? I guess down the main strip up there. I don't know. It's very weird. Um, but they decided, like, why don't we add a dinner show to our restaurant at the resort? So they had a beautiful restaurant, and they were going to add this bear animatronic show to that. So that's how the birth of Country Bears came about. And there's a great story that in the end of 1966, Mark Davis had built out the storyboards for Country Bear Jamboree, and he brought Walt in to take a look at him. And he noted that Walt was like laughing hysterically, reading through the storyboards. He was loving it. And then when he left the room, he said bye to Mark Davis, and that would be the last time Mark Davis saw Walt Disney.
Whoa.
He did pass away that December of 1966. And so they officially named the Country Bear Jamboree Walt's Last Laugh.
Whoops.
It's so
That's
sad.
sad.
Oh, it's so sad, but
Walt's
it's so
last
sweet.
laugh.
So
Now, was the
sweet.
music different? The one that Walt heard?
Oh, I don't even know if they got as far to get me. It was just storyboards at that
Oh.
time. I don't know. He may have seen lyrics. It didn't notate that. Um, but he was watching, he was like looking at the story of the show for sure.
Oh.
Um, and then at the end of 1966, I already said that. Sorry, Walt's passing. And then they, after his passing, they ran into a lot of issues with launching the Mineral King Resort. Lots of legal red tape, long story short. So they moved the idea for Country Bears, because Walt loved it so much, over to Walt Disney World, since it was opening not that much later and they were already working on the plans for it. They found a place in Frontierland for Country Bear Jamboree. So that's how we got it over in
I'm
Disney World. Isn't that cute?
surprised that to this day they still haven't built a resort like that in the because they're right now like on the coasts and the sunny vacation spots. But
Right.
that would have been fun. That would have
That would
actually
have been
made me
hecka fun.
go. Like not for the skiing, but to hang out on the
Yeah.
resort,
Yeah.
play in the snow, have a hot
Just
cocoa,
like Alani, like
see
I'm
the
probably not
country
going to go to the
bears.
beach, but I want to hang out in
Yeah.
Alani.
And a restaurant version, that sounds fun too. Like what's his face? Our friend in Tomorrowland. What's his name? Cosmic Rewind. What's his name?
Oh, in Disney World, yes. No, not Cosmic Rays. Sunny Eclipse.
Sunny
With
Eclipse.
Coco.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
imagining something like that at the ski resort with the country bears, but like
You
in this
know,
beautiful
actually,
lodge.
I'm going to be real honest here. I have had little to no interest in going to Alani. I know I just said
Oh,
Alani.
Alani.
No, no,
Well,
I'm bringing up something separate.
we went from the
But
snow to
if
the tropics.
if they had something like this at Alani, I would be a lot more interested.
Hello, they have the country bear luau. That's the only place to see the country bears
First of all,
after this
you're
closes.
such a liar.
I guess
First of
already
all,
fake.
and it doesn't have
We
to be
couldn't go.
country bears, just like some kind
I
of
know.
unique
I
show
know.
other than just, I think all they have really is characters, right?
They
At
have
Alani.
characters. They have what the Polynesian used to have. The
Like a
luau,
regular
yeah.
luau. Yeah.
But I would say there's nothing that has, ooh, don't make me say it, the Disney touch that you were saying was missing
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Mineral King Resort. It could use something like that, but I've never done a full stay there, so I don't know. I don't know what else they have, but I'd imagine we would have heard of it if it was something pretty cool.
I would be way more interested in going if they had something like that for sure. So I can see how this could be a great pull for somewhere like the Mineral King. So
Yeah,
cheers to
snow
them.
families and just some people want to have some fun, some people want to ski. Come on, Disney. Come on, Disney.
Yes,
Build it.
Cone Disney.
Build it and it'll come.
Another thing I forgot to mention is that Thurl Ravenscroft was also voicing in Country Bear Jamboree. So that's another Disney legend that's like, oh my God, we're going to probably lose that too, because I assume they have to re-voice everyone, right? Anyway, some
Interesting.
things to think about, but we'll see how the new one goes.
Well,
So
the new voices are like, isn't it supposed to be like Chris Pratt and um I'm really bad at
no.
my
Are you
trickery
serious?
today. No, no. I'm just saying that's what would happen and would make everybody mad.
Yeah, I don't. It's like when they did that new pop singer did all the music for Wish, right? It's like one of those moments. Like, please
Yes.
don't do that.
Yeah, it didn't fit well.
Doesn't fit. Um, But what was I going to mention to you? I don't know. It's exciting and scary at the same time. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. We'll have to give it up to them. It's not like we have any control anyway. Just be excited for
The
it in the meantime.
the music, is that available like on a record somewhere? I feel like that would be a nice
Yeah, for
collectible,
sure.
like a vinyl or something.
Yeah, I have a couple Country Bear Jamboree records already, so they're
Ooh, there you
definitely on
go.
vinyl. I mean, vinyl was like the only like
In the actual
format
time when it came
during
out.
that
Yeah.
time, yeah, when it opened. They've had a lot of changes throughout the years to the soundtrack and the dialogue and stuff because mostly because of PC reasons. So if you
Makes
get to
sense.
older records, you can find the more original ones, and then as they go through the years, they'll change up a bit. But yeah, definitely get them on record. You can get them on CD, I believe, and I think even Spotify has like a little
Ah,
playlist
that's
that
where I
somebody
need it. Somewhere
created.
I could pull it up real quick and listen
Yeah.
to it. If you want that old feeling. Who are the Country Bears anyway?
Who are they anyway? So that's a good question because you're thinking about them right now. They are currently out of work, right? Like they were working hard, keeping that theater alive all these years, and now they kind of have nothing to do until the whole thing is renovated and opened up later. So I figured, why don't we learn who these characters are and maybe give them a summer job? So first up, we have is Henry. He is the master of ceremonies for the show. Henry is
Oh, cool. Well, Henry's the one that you said is the guy that's still alive, the actor, voice actor.
Pete Renaday. Yes,
Yeah.
yep. So he's a welcoming, friendly brown bear. He wears a gray top hat, a starched shirt, and a string tie. So one of those ones with the little
Oh, I
whatever that
like
is, like a
that.
not a clip, but like a emblem or something. I don't know
I
how
like a
to say what that
bolero
is.
tie. There's like a Mexican version that's really nice.
Oh, it's like where the two strings pulled through. Is that similar?
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
cowboys, western. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, totally Western. In some parts of the show, he plays a yellow guitar, and it is implied that he and Teddy Barra have some sort of backstage romance. Ooh.
Oh.
Also, he is a famous football player who entered the show business. So this is his backstory. I did
Oh,
not know
what? Okay, I
this,
didn't know that either.
right? Henry is formerly with the Goose Greek Bruins, and one day he tried a hidden ball play, and Henry hid the ball so well he couldn't find it. This hastened its transfer to music. What the heck?
Hmm.
For a while he also had trouble finding a melody.
Henry, Henri,
Liver Lips McGraw, now known as Romeo McGraw.
Romeo.
He's a bear that plays a guitar and he has a messy head of hair. You know, it's like kind of like brushed
Oh,
forward and it's like big and gray and very cute.
very cute.
He's a homebody who is never home at the same time. His career has spanned the
What does that
entertainment
even
world.
mean?
This is his backstory.
I'm trying to figure out what that means. I guess it's like you, no matter where you are, you just like to chill and like relax.
Yeah.
You don't need to do
Like you kind of
anything.
make everywhere your
I
home.
like that. I
Maybe he's that
feel,
guy that like helps himself to your fridge when he comes over. And it's
ooh,
like,
that I
dude.
don't like. Well, it depends who it is. But I think I'm going to start using that when people ask me like to describe myself. I'm a homebody that doesn't like to stay home.
Yeah,
Like I like to
actually,
be
you're a
a,
perfect
right?
example of
On
that.
a
Yeah.
cruise ship, put me in a hotel, put me in Vegas. I'll be a homebody there.
Yeah.
I'll make it work.
Oh my God, this is so funny. It's literally
Cute.
you. Like when we go to Disney World, you're like, you could just go to
Yeah,
the
I just
park.
want to
I'm
chill
just gonna
and
stay in the hotel
relax.
room.
Pretend I live here.
Homebody who's never home. I love it.
It's a good one.
So his career spanned from or in the entertainment world, and he is a famous radio VJ or DJ, whatever you want to say at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And he did TV, nightclubs, and the circus. His
Oh,
throaty growl has captivated audiences everywhere, and he played return engagements in such famous towns as Paris in Kentucky, Rome in Tennessee, Berlin in Wisconsin, and Athens in Georgia. Hilarious.
this is
I love
funny.
it. But his heart is always at home where the Miami Serenader. Oh my God, I can't read
Wait,
today.
there's even more. There's a Cairo in Illinois.
Yeah, Cairo in
What?
Illinois,
That's
and
so
a
weird.
Stuttgart in Arkansas.
Stuttgart.
Stuttgart in Arkansas.
Wow.
So yeah, so
Okay, I have a further appreciation for Romeo. Oh, it's so hard to not say it. Romeo L.L. McGraw.
oh, I love it. I love it. That
Is
would be
he
cute
like
to just give
supposed to
the
be like
initials.
Elvishish, or is that a different one? Like he
He
was
has a whole Elvis
okay, yeah.
yeah,
That
impersonator role.
description was giving me the King vibes.
Yes, yep. Next up we have Wendell. And Wendell is a hyperactive golden bear. So he's got that lighter
Oh.
golden look to him and plays the mandolin. So
Wait, I think
cute.
Wendell, I think he's the my favorite one that I always like to find or post on Instagram,
Yes.
right?
You post him a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he's giving like Gypsy Rose. I love
Oh my God. Why
Wendell.
did you just do that?
Born this way. I love Wendell.
Gypsy Rose is all over my algorithm. And now I'm only going to see Wendell.
And everyone who's listening and watching is now going to get Gypsy Rose Wendell in their
You're welcome.
algorithms.
Oh
Ahead of
my
his
God.
time,
It's so
Wendell.
awful. Especially with the next part I'm about to read. He also has a massive overbite and buck teeth. Wendell is a frustrated basketball player. He quit the game in the team photograph. What? He was just like, I'm done. I'm
Oh,
done
because
with
he
you
thought he was
guys.
too short. Because he'd noticed in the picture he was only as tall as the other bear's knees, kneecaps.
Oh my
Crazy.
God, it's hilarious. Yes. So then he was all sorts of sports playing through baseball, yeah, baseball and football. And
Bad news
then,
bears.
yeah, and then he found his career and lashed onto Henry in Country
Oh,
Bear
I did not
Jamboree.
peg Wendell as an athletic bear at all.
Me either. He kind of seems like, do you remember I brought up that girl in high school that like wasn't the brightest, but she was really tall. So she could just block all the balls in volleyball. And
Yeah.
then like we all couldn't stand it. She got added to the team and we didn't. That's how I look at him. Like he served a purpose somewhere, and that was the only
He's
reason
just
he was in
there.
sports. Yeah.
Oh, Wendell.
Oh, Wendell. Teddy
The other
Barra.
thing about Wendell, when I look him up in Google Images, there seems to be like different versions of the costumes. I guess that happened over time. It's weird seeing the progression because I'm like, wait, that is him. I
Oh,
recognize him because I know him, you know. And I'm like,
that
oh
might
yeah,
be
that
how
that's
I was
Wendell.
talking about. They changed them over the yeah the things, and they even changed their fur color.
Wow, interesting.
So Teddy Barra is next. She is a unique bear because she doesn't appear on the stage. Instead, she descends from the ceiling. Someone on our Live
Oh,
at 5 Year Day said, "Isn't there a bear that comes down from the ceiling in the queue?" And I was like, "No, in the show. You're thinking about the show, but that would have been cool too to have like a pre-show." I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh, I kind of like that idea. Can we add her to the pre-show though?" Um, so she's on a swing covered in flowers. She's very cute. And she's like a brown bear and she's wearing a violet sequined hat and a long pink boa around her neck. So she's
Wow.
very diva bear, right? She's the diva bear. So she was discovered sitting on a soda and fountain stool in an ice cream parlor 3 miles from Gentry, Arkansas. From there, her rise in showbiz was meteoric,
Woo.
and her ravishing beauty is known as the Jewel of the Dakotas.
Oh,
How cute. She's also been known to want to perform some serious drama, and her fans have never let her forget the feather boa and her parasol, both of which were promised by the daughters of Benton County. All these crazy backstories. I want like a, you know what? I never saw the Country Bears movie. I
I
wonder
was
if,
just gonna say maybe this is also part of the movie one, or
yeah, I
this
never
vice
saw it. Did you
versa.
just not see it either?
I never saw it. Looked bad. Like
It looked
it
terrible,
looked
but
like
now I
Follow
have to
That
watch it.
Bird. Remember those movies? They had a few back then where they just straight up put costumes on people.
Oh no.
There was like a 5 year era. It was like Follow That Bird, this movie. There was a couple others. So weird. What a
Not to
time.
sidetrack, but Dinosaur did that and it
Oh my
actually looks
gosh.
really
Jim
amazing. Like, how
Henson.
do they do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I rewatched those as an adult now, and I'm like, how do they even do these costumes? They're really cool. I want these in the park. Like they're so neat.
They are.
Anyway,
Okay, Teddy Bear. She is giving me Vegas showgirl. Like she's coming down
yes.
from the ceiling. It's one of the breathtaking moments of the show. It's when people might go like, oh, because there's something coming. There's something dropping from the roof. It's also
Yes.
giving me tiki. What are those ladies that come
Oh
down
yeah. The
from
Glee
the
Club.
with the white feathers?
We
Yeah, very
forgot
pretty.
the Glee Club.
Tiki room. It's giving me that. It's also giving me Mariah like riding her sleigh. So I went to a Christmas concert, no, New Year's Eve concert once for Mariah, Madison Square Garden. She entered the arena flying on the ceiling
Oh
on
my
a
God.
sleigh with reindeer on it. For it was a one night show. It wasn't even a tour. Like she did all that just for that. So
Oh
that's
my
what
God.
Teddy Bear is giving me. Like she's fabulous.
Right. It's like, as long as I don't have to walk, just put me on whatever.
Yeah. Fly
And
me in on
carry
the
me
sleigh,
from A to
please.
B.
Chandelier, let me ride on the chandelier down.
Yeah. So next up is Ernest. Now, Ernest is the brown bear who plays the fiddle, and he wears a derby hat, which is cute, and a red and polka dot or red and white polka dot bow tie. He's so cute. Um, he's well dressed and carries his wardrobe with him wherever he goes. What the heck? Evidently he has like tons of trunks of clothes with him all the time. And he tries
Interesting.
to hitchhike sometimes and they cannot pick him up because he has all his stuff with him.
Okay, that's kind of cute. Like he'll get a
Right.
ride, but they're like, forget it.
Yeah,
Taking
they're
too
like,
long.
no, that's all yours. That's not happening. Each year when the 10 best dressed are announced, Ernest the dude is there and wondering why he isn't on the list. Aw, poor
Oh.
Ernest.
See, that's what it happens. You try too hard. You try too hard.
That's right. He did try way too hard on this one.
Just be yourself and you'll make it on the list.
Yeah. Terrence, his nickname is Shaker. He's a tall bear with tan fur, and he wears a hat and a yellow vest and plays a guitar. So if you've seen him, that's who he is, Terrence. And he's called the Vibrating Wreck from Nashville Tech.
Oh.
It's crazy.
It's also
I don't even
interesting
know what to
that a
do with
lot of
that.
these are like either college educated bears or like college adjacent bears.
Right?
Did not expect any of that.
They're like, what are those schools called? Uh Vocational schools or something. What do they call where you like just
Oh,
go
like
for
these
two
cool
years?
ones in New York City that Peter Parker gets to go to. I'm so
Yeah,
jealous.
yeah.
Manhattan Tech and all that. Yeah.
All
Neat.
right. So Terrence, his stay in Nashville was short. The roar of the grease paint called to him, and he became an actor instead. He often performed with the Barrymores. Is that Drew? Just
I
want to
love it.
know.
I
Drew.
love it.
Drew is a bear.
Bearrry. Love a pun.
Love a
This is
good
what
pun.
needs to happen when they do these Disney
Yes, they
songs.
better keep
Yeah.
lots of puns. He was known throughout the Ozarks as far north as Joplin for his tent show rendition of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
Thank you.
But it's a pun version of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Oh, oh
Clever, clever.
yeah. What is the original?
It's
Is it
like
just a
that guy,
famous play?
play guy, the playwright, the character in that play,
Oh,
character in that play.
got it. Um, they said that he got this part because he's one of the few actors who could play the part without a false nose.
Oh,
And a fall from the balcony in Romeo and Juliet literally brought down the house and ended his acting career and the stage. And he turned in his tights for a guitar. So got out of that, got into singing and playing a guitar.
I
So
didn't even. I for a second I forgot we were talking about a bear character. We're talking about like history of an Imagineer or something. That was
right.
very
No.
detailed backstory for this person.
These are very
For
detailed.
the bear, I mean. Yeah.
Yes. Next up is Trixie. Everybody loves Trixie. So she is thick, THICC, brown bear She wears a blue bow on her hair and a blue tutu around her waist. She's always holding a handkerchief and a glass of wine. She's the one that sings, um, "Your tears will be the chaser to your wine." Ooh,
Okay,
snap,
okay.
snap.
I mean, those are
Um,
good country songs,
yes,
lyrics. I mean, that is
yes,
what country music, especially in the old days, they are telling
totally.
these deep, dark stories about their lives and their everyday
Their
occurrences.
lives,
Their
yeah.
lives.
And it's known that Trixie has a slight crush on Henry. Oh, wait, who did Henry have a crush on? Was it Teddy Barra? A backstage
Maybe.
romance with Teddy Barra. So now we have a love triangle going on
Oh,
in the Country
okay.
Bears. Scandal. Oh my goodness. Trixie is an old trooper and a veteran performer. So she's been in this for a while. And it says troop, which makes me think she was into burlesque. Just saying. How
Okay.
cool would
Yeah.
that be? She's got her tutu. Let's go. Um, there, what is going on in my house? Sorry, there's some very weird noise that distracted me. It sounded like an earthquake was coming
The
for a second.
Bears are running in. They need
Oh my
somewhere to hang
God, it's the
out
Bears,
during
the
renovations.
Bears,
Yeah.
the Bears. Oh my God. So she is known vicariously. No, variously. I can't read, you guys. She has been known variously as the Calgary Charmer, the Alaska Allurer, Vancouver Vamp, and Bewitcher of British Columbia. Oh, and
Oh.
Tacoma Temptress. Wow. Okay, Trixie, I see you. Um, she visited Florida and decided to stay, and now she is known as the Tampa Temptation.
Oh. Tampa
She's
Temptation.
She spends her
Temptation.
spare hours thumbing through the pages of her scrapbook and is planning to write a book I barely remember. So cute.
Bear Lee. I just got
Yep.
it.
Barely remembers the title of the book. I barely remember. All right. Then we have a few other characters. We're going to save the best for last. We have the Sunset Bonnet Trio, Bunny, Bubbles, and Beulah. We have the five bear rugs, which consist of Zeke, Ted, Fred, Tennessee, and baby Oscar. And then we have, of course, Buff, Max, and
This is
Melvin,
just
who
now
are
tracking, but now that we're talking, there's dead bear rugs that are alive.
yeah, I
Oh,
guess so.
interesting. That's weird. Sad, but
I don't think
funny.
they're supposed to
Cute.
be that, but they name themselves that.
Oh, they're not like actual on the floor. I'm trying to picture an
No,
animatronic like on
no, no,
like
no, no.
flat. Oh, okay. Got it.
Like that would be real dark, Mike. Jeez.
Yeah, I was like, where is that? I was trying to imagine it.
No. Buff, Max, and Melvin are the three heads on the wall that love to be they're kind of like the three grump or the two grumpy old men in the Muppets, right? Like they have their little comments to say during the show, and also before and after. And then Sammy, we all love Sammy. He is the little raccoon pal of Henry who hangs out in the top hat and like kind of comes out and like shares a little giggle here and there. So cute.
Oh,
But let's go for our favorite, my favorite, and a lot of people's favorite, Big Al. Big Al is by far the largest bear of the show. He is light gray, or I'm sorry, he's brown with a light gray belly and wears a tan hat and a red vest. Now his guitar is always out of tune. It's like his whole shtick, right? Like he's got that out of tune guitar and out of tune voice. And Big Albert says, oh, by the way, his full name is Albert. I've
oh,
never heard that
you
once,
called
but
him
it's
by
so
his
obvious. But like,
full name. Thought he was gonna get in
Big
trouble or
Al,
something.
Big Albert, go to your room, be
I'm
in the
trying to
corner for
find
five
you
minutes. Time out.
an out of tune sound effect for Big Al.
Yeah. Um, so there was music in his blood, and he's been playing guitar since he was a child. It's become more difficult as he's grown, and the guitar hasn't. So his guitar is really small compared to his body. He's so cute. Um, However, he has an interesting background also. He was the first to practice ecology, and he didn't litter his cave with tin cans and paper cartons. Oh, he just ate them instead. That's awful. Don't eat tin cans, you guys. I don't think it works that way.
Yikes.
He was resident bard at the Balladeer. I don't know what that is. What's a Balladeer?
That one I don't know. You got me there. Ballad.
So he was there. in the swamp before Walt Disney World was even built. So he is like the oldest resident of
Oh.
Walt Disney World. Yep. And he had a group of three badgers and an alligator that expressed great joy that he is now singing for people.
Oh, gotta have friends.
Very, very cute. So yeah, so that is our group who are looking for summer jobs. I was gonna say we should give them jobs, but I think they should just go on a quick reunion tour, like we said earlier.
Yeah. And then come back refreshed at the Magic
Yeah.
Kingdom.
And if they get to like tour around, we could all get a chance to see them and hear their old songs one last time. Let's just make that happen in our imagination. Like
Yes. Farewell tour.
grab Figment, ask him for some help bringing this into your imagination that you got to see them at your local dive bar. How cute would that be? My
It would
God,
be.
stop. I would die.
Oh, The Little Merman. If you're listening now, you should do throw some Country Bear songs into your
Yes,
set
please.
list there. People would love that.
Yes, that'd be so cute. I wonder if anybody. So I did see three women at Disney World dressed in costume for. You were with me, I think, as a Sunbonnet Trio. Do you remember that?
Yes, yes, yes,
Oh
yes,
my
yes,
God, they were
yeah. That's
so
a cute
good.
one. Yeah. It's a cute
They were so
costume.
good. It was like for Mickey's Halloween party or something. So good. I wonder if people Disney bound as these characters often because they're so easy. They're
They're
just like
pretty
a
easy, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I
But I think you
am
would like need
going
a whole group
to
to do it.
I'll Disney bound as Romeo LL McGraw
Okay.
since I now feel connected to him because of his home what is it? Homebody that doesn't is not always at home.
Homebody that's never home. I
That's not
love it. I think I will do. I was gonna go with Trixie, but I think I'm gonna go with Teddy Barrow. She's a little more
ooh,
obvious.
and some
I would just have to
flair.
wear like what, like brown clothes, and then get a boa and a hat, like the sequin hat and the boa, and
And I
travel
wonder if
around.
there's something boa-ish without the actual boa. What would that be?
A scarf.
Ooh, and it's functional. Right now at Disney World, it was like in the high 60s. I was looking at the weather for this week. It's kind of chilly.
It is a little chilly.
Yeah, scarf. Get that scarf. I could not cosplay. I could Disney bound as her.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. So that is the history and the backstories of the Country Bears as we know them. We'll see what happens when we get their new act, and really, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for my next trip to Disney World because they will be refreshed, and we'll have to see what that looks like and feels like.
I, in the 45 minutes of talking about the Country Bears, have now a more deeper appreciation
Ah, see,
for this troop of misfit bears who all found each other and their weird backstories. And now they're happy singing and entertaining. That's very cute.
that's a good point you bring up, and that's like a real hats off to Disney fandom, right? Because like I used to love coming to Disneyland, but I didn't become a Disney holic until I started learning all of this stuff about like
Right.
just the fine details. It made it so much more entertaining and so much more immersive, right? Like when you hear all this other stuff, I wish there was a way to just bring that to everybody, but I think it would be like way too much to just like how would you do that? Hold people down and tell them the backstory of all the country bears and then let them watch the show and then have them on their merry way. It's too much.
Yeah.
But it is fun that you could keep diving in and finding new things about Disney all the time. That's what keeps it so fun for us Disney holics.
Walt Disney
Um,
had said at one point he wants you to find something new every time you come back.
that is true. That
Yeah.
is very true.
Oh.
Aw, heck of cute. Well, to wrap up our episode, I have a quick little section for inappropriate Country Bear lyrics because I thought this was kind of fun. So,
Oh my goodness. Yes, there is a lot. Let's
there's
go.
there's some there's actually not as many as I thought. These are the ones that I was able to like really pull up and see that I'm like, okay. The first one talks about literally like like child beating. And it's someone begging their mom to not whoop little Buford, literally.
Well, you know
I can't even
what?
say literally.
What the heck did Lil Buford do?
Doesn't matter. You can't give him a whooping. Jeez, give him like a 2024 whooping there, like a talking to. That's all. Although we all know words hurt more than anything else.
That's
So,
true. Words then require therapy.
but it says, Mama don't whoop little Buford. Mama don't pound on his head. Mama don't whoop little Buford. I think you should shoot him instead.
Oh, shoot him with a compliment, I think, is what they
Give him
meant.
a shot. Like, yeah,
A
there you
shout
go.
out. Dang, that's dark. So I'm pretty sure most of these are already like parody spoofs of existing songs, country songs, right?
Yes. Yep.
So that means that was out there, like on the radio.
Yo, they were so bad. The If you look back at the music of like or like turn of the century up until like the 50s, there's some terrible
Wow.
stuff.
I think you should shoot him instead. Wait, first of all, you didn't sing it. Mama don't whoop Lil Buford. I actually don't know what song how that goes.
There won't be any singing today. Well, maybe for this next one. The next song mentions being turned on, which is just a little sexy for the country bears, but it's pretty funny. And it uses a term here that we currently use a lot. Every time I meet a guy who gets me shook,
Okay, nothing is original these days. They've been saying shook way back then, and it must have like gone away, and then it
and
came
it's
back.
back.
Wow, wow, I love it.
Shook. How often do all our friends say that? All the time. I hear everyone
I
saying
was
shook.
shook.
Was shook. Had me shook.
Oh my
Okay. Every
gosh.
time I meet a guy who gets me shook, all I ever get from him's a dirty look. It's the same way every time, or the same way everywhere I found. All the guys that turn me on turn me down. Classic.
All the
Classic.
guys that turn me on, turn me down.
That's it. That's the song. Does it say anything else in the second verse? Nothing works for me that I've found. It's the same way everywhere I see. Nothing ever seems to work for me. So that one's
It's
but
like a Tinder app commercial or something.
yeah. So right.
Poor thing.
Lastly, there's the famous blood on the saddle reference from Big Al, right? So that's always like, what does that even mean? But it says there's blood on the saddle and blood all around, and a great big puddle of blood on the ground. It's just
Okay,
like
so I
dark
went down the rabbit hole on this one just
Oh, good. Tell us more.
for our sakes and our listeners' sakes. Okay, because this is the one that's the most disturbing because it's just so
Yes.
visceral and visual. Blood on the saddle.
It's also vague enough to like let you go way too far with
It
your
could go to so
imagination.
many things. So, the best place to go to find out what other Disney people are saying is Reddit. And on
Yes.
Reddit, there are so many interpretations. And then I found out the real one. But let me start with
Oh,
the
good.
the
This is great. Tell
the
me. I've
rabbit
never
hole.
known.
It's going down this rabbit hole about young women coming into adulthood,
Yeah.
which is why I made that turning red reference earlier. And so I was going with it. I was like, oh, okay, that's still gross and weird. And not gross because of having the period, but gross because it's like on the seat and they're talking about it and singing it in a show. So you're like, okay. I was like, it was back then. I don't know. And then people were like correcting those people and saying, no, 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 no. It's a real song by somebody named, I think it's Tex Ritter. I had it yeah, his name is Tex Ritter, a real country song that says that stuff, which was then played in a Western movie for cowboys who they're shooting each other, and it's just the blood of the cowboy. And I don't know why that's totally
Ah.
better. I'm more comforted. I'm like, oh, it's just a cowboy.
It's just dead people.
But that reminds me of like, those old movies. That's what happened. They got shot. There's blood on the saddle. So that's what he was singing about. And then even cooler, Disney got the actual Tex Ritter to perform that song as the bear during the performance. So there you go, full circle. And it
So
is meant to
funny.
be about cowboys and a shootout and nothing else.
Yeah. And I guess that one is weird because, first of all, any female would know that song is not about periods because there's no way there's going to be a great big puddle. That just doesn't happen no matter
I
what
know,
anybody
but it's
wants to think happens.
this is the point of view of a guy singing
Yes,
it, right? Just
exactly.
like the Bible is also written like we're trying to throw rocks at you just for your poor period. It's awful. It's this
How
bear's
dare you do what naturally happens?
right
Um,
recollection.
that you have literally no control of, and you would literally give probably everything to not have to have it. That'd be lovely. Um, Anyway, that's also weird though that you now that I know that that is what it's about just like a cowboy being shot or hurt or whatever. It's like not funny. So like the fact that Big Al's singing it so funny is like a little off-putting too, but
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. It's just
And my
weird.
guess is based on what I was reading, both on Reddit and like articles about this and Wikipedia, it the what was entertaining at the time was that the silly bear was singing a pop song.
Right. Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
crazy to think about.
But
I
to
was
us,
just thinking
it's
that in my
just
head. I'm
hit
like, oh,
it's
he's
the
just doing
bear
a bad
song.
job
Yeah.
of performing
Yeah.
this popular
Right.
song.
Yeah. Oof. Interesting
Wow.
times. Look at it. One ride, you don't make that many changes, and it means something different depending on when you watch it the first time.
Right.
Huh.
So those are really the
Huh.
only really ones that are still in the show that were found as offensive, quote unquote. But I'm gonna end with one of my favorite things that just happened right before I was about to record. I told my brother I was recording about Country Bear Jamboree because we used to go all the time when I was little with my family. And he dropped a quote from Country Bears. My brother hasn't even been to
What?
Disneyland since, like, at all, since I think the last time he went with us was in like 2005 or something. So he hasn't even been to Disneyland in forever. And he definitely hasn't been to Disney World since at least the 90s. So he dropped a quote, and that's just how well the Country Bears will stick with people who used to go. And he says, "Don't forget your belongings and your husbands too." He said it just like him. I was like, "Oh my god, he remembers the exit spiel of the ride."
That's Henry who says that, the
No,
MC.
it's Max and Melvin and Buff, like they're talking on the talking heads,
Oh,
right? Yeah, I thought that was great. That like
that's
kind of made
cute.
my day a little bit. So yes, lots of history and fun times singing along with the Country Bears. If you are there when they reopen or you go back after they reopen, give them a watch, go sit in that theater, slap your knees, tap your toes, sing along, give them the support, be the cheerleader like Mike was, and get everybody loving the Country Bears. So thanks for joining us in all the history of all the backstories that you may have never known about the Country
Ah.
Bears.
We hope you enjoyed episode 174 of the Disney Holic Show.
Follow us on social media at the Disney Holics.
And if you want to get in touch, send us a DM on Instagram or contact us at thedisneyholics.com. I don't know why I'm
Okay,
laughing.
bye. You're okay, bye, and scene.